Well, hey there teachers. Welcome to a brand spanking new video this week, fresh out of Zoom. Over the past few weeks, I have shared with you a number of brilliant resources that you can use both in the online format and also in a regular school setting. But in this week's video, I'm going to share with you my top 3 apps for online remote learning. So let's check them out. Now, for those of you who know me, you'll know that I'm currently completing my PhD in maths education. And this has meant for the past few years, I haven't worked full-time as a maths teacher, but instead I've been working as an education consultant and also as a CRT in order to pay the bills. Now, like many CRTs and education consultants, I found that as soon as COVID-19 came in and we went on to remote learning, well, my work has pretty much dried straight up. But that was, of course, until 2 weeks ago, when I was given the opportunity to take 2 classes for the remainder of this online learning period. Now, of course, I've seen the amazing work that you guys have been doing, and I've been inspired, so of course I had to say yes. And this video is about me sharing 3 resources that I found have been extremely useful for me during this period. So let's check them out. Now, my favorite app, first and foremost, has got to be an online collaborative whiteboard app which allows students to work together and share their ideas. And you can access this app by visiting awwapp.com.
Oh, Brendan, can you come change your son's nappy?
Sure. Just after this.
Brendan, wait a second, Brendan, mate, you're on, your microphone's not on mute. Can you just turn it off? Thanks, mate.
Sorry.
Cheers. Yep, we all know a Brendan. Now, where was I? That's right, the OR app, awwapp.com, is free for you to use, and you can use it to be able to get students to collaborate and work together to share their ideas. Now, using this application is simple. All you need to do is go to the Whiteboard app and create a template by putting anything you want on the board. So for example, I might put in write your name here. And then you can put in things like pictures or images or anything else you like on the whiteboard, and it allows students then to be able to draw on it and create it and do whatever they want with that space when you allow them to be able to access it. Now, to let the students access this, what you need to do is click on invite and then simply copy the link that comes up in this screen. Now, copying this link and allowing students to visit this link gets them to collaborate on this whiteboard in real time. But you might not want students to actually do this. And in fact, what might be more appropriate is allowing students to have their own version so they can simply copy or draw whatever they want on their own version of your template without drawing over the top of everyone else. So either way, they're both really good options, and it really just depends on what you want students to do. Now, this program also works really well when you're getting students to work together in breakout rooms in Zoom. Because what you can do is simply create multiple copies of this same whiteboard, for example, just by clicking on duplicate, and then that allows you to share each individual copy with the different groups that are operating within the breakout rooms. So you have different groups operating on different whiteboards, and you as a teacher can simply go and click between each of the whiteboards to see what each group is currently working on. Now, another favorite app of mine during this time has been using Google Sheets of all things. Let me show you why. Now, I have actually never met the 2 classes that I am currently teaching in person. So because of this, I've had to build relationships with students virtually, which is kind of an interesting feeling as a teacher. Now, what I'm finding in this new online format is that the key to getting students engaged is to simply slow down and have some fun with them. You know, taking the time to build that relationship instead of charging through the curriculum at full steam ahead. And there's plenty of really nice opportunities to do this. For example, I'm finding that spending just 5 to 10 minutes at the beginning of each lesson, chatting to the students casually, is allowing me to check in on them and see how they're going. Now, as I do this, I'm recording pieces of information about them into my Google Sheets so that I can follow this up with them and ask them about it at the beginning of each lesson. So as you can see here, this is a bit of a mock sheet that I've put together because we know I can't share what I've actually done with the students. And you can see here that there's a whole lot of information, and it allows me just to say, hey, student 8, how's The Good Doctor going? Did you watch an episode last night? Doing those little things to show that I care about them and that I'm interested in them. Having this has really allowed me to make those connections quite quickly and show that I am here for them and that I'm interested in them as people. It's also allowed me to track their attendance as well quite easily. So for example, if there's a student who hasn't been in a class for a number of lessons in a row, it means that as soon as they arrive, I can say to them, hey mate, I noticed you haven't been here for a while, are you doing okay? And check in on them once again to show that I genuinely care about them and that I've missed them. Now, who would have thought? Spreadsheets and relationships. It's not two things you would normally put together. But over the past 2 weeks, it has made a huge difference to the vibe of my class and how it's actually run. Now, the last app, which is actually brilliant for teaching mathematics during remote learning, is the Teacher Desmos app. And you can access this by visiting teacher.desmos.com. Now, when you get to the site, you'll see that there are simply a plethora of activities for you to use with your students during remote learning. The only challenge then is figuring out, well, which one do you use? I'll show you this one here, which I think is pretty cool for looking at things like ratios and stuff like that. It's called the balloon float. Now, as soon as you get to the activity page, all you need to do is click on the Create Class Code button, and that will bring up a class code, which you'll see here. From this point, I recommend that you go to the View Dashboard, and that will bring up a brand new window. Now, when it opens up this window, you can either share this with your students on your screen, or you can just send them the code and the link for them to be able to access. Or you can simply copy this link and paste it into a document so that students can directly go to the activity by visiting that link. Now, when they get there, it's all very straightforward. In fact, this whole Desmos teaching style of activity is designed so that students can muddle their way through it and make sense of it on their own. In fact, it's better that we as teachers don't give them too much scaffolding and they use trial and error in order to be able to figure it out. Now, the other cool thing about this is this teacher dashboard is a really good way of monitoring how the students are going, because I can simply look at it and identify which students are struggling and maybe falling a little bit behind. This allows me to then have a chat with them either via the Zoom call or via the chat function and be able to help them out if they need. Whereas other students can simply work along at their own pace. So there you go. It's almost as if this Teacher Desmos app has been purposely built for this online remote learning that we currently find ourselves in. Well, there you go. Thank you, teachers, for tuning in and for having a go at this Teacher Desmos app and the Aura app and having a bit of a play around with it. I really appreciate you giving me a hand. Also, don't forget to like the Engage Me Mathematics Facebook page to keep up with all the videos that I'm putting out at the moment. Like always, my name's Tom Moore. Stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll see you next time.